There's my rear view. Let's just give it a little juice. Pretty powerful for the all-wheel drive, honestly. What's going on, guys? It's Brandon, or Tesla Flex, and right here I have the Cybertruck Foundation all-wheel drive, and today we'll be showing you why it is the best electric pickup truck on the market. Before we get started, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, Drive Protected, for making all of this possible. Drive Protected is your #1 source for do-it-yourself paint protection film for your Tesla. So right here is the 2024 Cybertruck all-wheel drive Foundation series, and you can see that right here with the laser etched badge. They don't have any physical badges on the car, just laser etched ones. So if it was a Cyber Beast, they would have the little 3-headed dog on the back, but we have a giant windshield wiper, which is probably one of the first things you'll notice. Is this is almost a 4-foot long wiper. It's crazy, but it works really well. So where are the headlights on this Cybertruck? Because this is a daytime running light. They're actually a little bit down here. So right here we have the actual headlights, and then we have some more lights and also the turn signal. Then we have some recovery hooks as well. One thing that's really cool about the Cybertruck, and it's actually the first Tesla vehicle to have this, is that it has a power frunk, and there's actually a button right on the front. So once the frunk opens up, you have all the space for your stuff and smaller suitcases. But then right here is the button, so I press this one more time, it'll actually close the frunk, which is really convenient. This specific Foundation Cybertruck has 318 miles of rated range, mainly because it has the bigger wheels and tires. These are like the off-roady ones, but eventually later this year they will actually have some more regular ones that get better range, and those are what get the 340 rated range. So starting off with just the outside, this is a very hard stainless steel. It is very tough. I mean, it's bullet resistant, not bulletproof. Obviously, it shows fingerprints like crazy, but most people getting the Cybertruck are probably just gonna wrap it, and that's what I would do, because really, stainless steel, this is just a giant refrigerator at this point. So getting over to this part, we have the tonneau cover, and there's one cool thing I wanted to show you guys. So I can actually get on top of the tonneau cover, and it can support up to 300 pounds, which is kind of crazy. So the tonneau cover has a couple options for opening. You can either press it all the way down and it will open up fully, or you can press it just lightly and you can just open it bit by bit. But there are 2 pressing modes. So if you press all the way down, it will open up all the way. And then of course it's the same for closing. If I press it down all the way, it will close, but I can always just press right here to stop it, or just close it like partially. But as long as I'm just pressing lightly, it won't close fully. Now we have a tailgate right here. Press this, it will open, and it has a soft open. And really cool thing is that it doesn't require that much force to actually close. So I can do this with one finger and close it. But if you can't do that and you just want to kind of close it normally, you can lift it up, and if you bring it right up to here, you'll hear a little click, and it pulls it the rest of the way closed. The Cybertruck actually has more bed space than the Rivian R1T and the F-150 Lightning, even though it's a smaller car. But you can see it's kind of slanted back there. But if I lay down completely, like I'll just do right now, and then James, you can shut that, I can actually fit completely inside of here, fully straightened out. So yeah, that's a good amount of space. I'm 6 foot tall and I fit pretty well. So right here we have the L tracks and the bed, and this is the Foundation series, so it comes with a bottle opener, but you can also purchase that separately for $45. And then we have some power outlets. We have 2 12 volts and a 1450. And then right here is also just another thing where you can clip stuff in and kind of harness stuff down. But then now that we have this, we also have these 2 mounting areas. So we have, I think in total there's 4. So there's 2 right here in the bed area, but then as you get higher up on the truck, you have 2 more on either side. And then you're probably wondering where the charge port is throughout all this, because in the prototype it was right about here, but now it's actually just built into the rear wheel fender. And if you look closely, it has a little Cybertruck logo instead of a Tesla T, which every other vehicle has. And then in the bed, we have some additional storage. So we have kind of a deep trunk storage similar to other Tesla models, but you can actually take these out if you want some expanded storage. This is really nice to have in here. That way, if you have smaller things, they won't go flying around when you drive this car. And it closes just like that. And there's actually a little bit of a cool thing deep down in here. So right down at the very bottom of this, there is a little plug for the drain. So you can put ice in here and it can drain itself. And I just noticed there's a little Cybertruck shaped little plug, so you can just grab it like that, and it just pops right back in. There we go. Maybe. Yep, there we go. That pops right back in. So now we've pretty much covered the whole outside. Let's go inside and check it out. So let's get in the Cybertruck, except no door handles. It's actually a button. So the Model X, I'd say, is the most similar to this, where you press a button and the door opens, except on here it just pops open. And they use little plungers to pop it open, and you can't accidentally close it. So you can't really have your fingers in here and have it closed. You actually have to open it all the way. And if you get close, like right here, you can see there's the plunger that will go back in, and you shut the door. So you press the button, pull the door open, and you're good. So we push this button to get inside the Cybertruck and then climb on in. This is the highest ride height, but usually it has its own setting just for entering. So get this door shut. Very solid. That little clang of a hydro flask, but if I do that again, that was solid. That was Model 3 Highland solid. So the first thing you notice about this is that we have a brand new steering wheel. So Tesla just loves the new designs. We've had like 6 different designs in the last 10 years, but this is called the Squircle. So it's pretty similar to the yoke. If you just took this off, it would essentially be the yoke, but this makes it a lot easier to kind of, if you want to grab the top of it, if you need to grab more up here, you're not missing anything because the yoke didn't have any of this. So I'm not really a huge fan of this, but I do like the kind of yoke-ish design, especially because this has steer-by-wire. One little complaint I have immediately is my elbows are constantly hitting the windows. So I keep rolling the windows down in the back on accident because I put my elbow down, and if I put my foot on the brake, I accidentally press it down. And it's worse on the rear windows. And what button?
This button right here.
Oh, yeah, so we have the window buttons on other doors. They're so wide. So elbows hit them a lot. And that's like my biggest gripe, honestly, with the truck is like the windows. It's just a little annoyance, but I'm sure I could just adjust my arms and get used to it. If you look on the screen, it is very responsive. I would say it's more responsive than even current Teslas. And it's kind of cool. Just like so futuristic, not super necessary, but one thing I noticed is that this is not actually the headlight, but it makes it kind of look like the headlight. Yeah, the headlights are deep down there, like I showed you earlier. But it's a pretty good representation of the truck. Like you can minimize it, you can make it larger, but the detail, the attention to detail is insane on this.
Here, I'll open my door and you can see.
And like you open a door on the other side, boom.
And you can see inside.
Yep, you can literally see the interior, and it's the same interior we're in. It's so, wait, open the door again? That's so weird. You can see the Cybertruck on the screen inside the Cybertruck.
Yeah.
That's Cybertruckception. So that's the screen right there. Pretty responsive. We have, you know, same auto shift as the refresh Model 3 and the Model S and Model X refresh. Put my foot on the brake, go into drive, and look towards the rear wheels. They actually turn 3.5 degrees to kind of make it easier. So I'll of course have a video of me doing just a circle. But let's move on to the center console. So right here, it's a very large center console. We have plenty of space. We also have the key card inside here. And if you look closely, it's the Cybertruck, not a regular Tesla that they're showing on the little picture. And then we have some, of course, big glove box or armrest storage box. There's only one USB-C port in here, and it's 60 watts, but it's all right. I kind of wish they had 2, but the refresh Model 3 also only has 1. Then we have 2 cup holders right here, and I was kind of worried that I thought these were like hard plastic, but they're just like rubberish, so everything will still fit in here fine. Then we have 2 wireless chargers, and they work pretty well with the, this is the iPhone 14 Pro Max, but my 15 Pro Max also charges on there, so pretty similar to the Model S and Model X wireless charging pad. I'd say it's a little bit shorter, but I guess the charger is like right up top. Then of course we have the seats. So these are cooled seats, and just like the Highland, they work really well. They're also heated, of course. And in the back, for some reason, Tesla is really just trying to cut costs for some reason on the back seats. So if I load up the rear display from the front, you can see you can control everything like that, but even control the passenger seat. But notice there's no heated middle seat, and that's how it is on the Highland. And you know what? Realistically, like how often is someone sitting in the middle seat? It happens, but not as often. So I think it's more of a thing that kind of based it off like, oh, not enough people were using it, so we just took it out. So we also have a bunch of different games in here. We have a light show, I can even add a little light show into this if you guys want to see that. We have the boom box, and that's kind of crazy. It shows you exactly where the little speaker is on the boom box now. Emissions testing mode, of course. Tracks, which is built in. Romance mode, sketchpad, Mars mode, which Mars mode actually is pretty different on here. So here we go. Mars mode really does change how it looks. I think that's really cool. Gives it like a orangish look. And of course, all the controls are still on the screen. And on the map itself, this is just like the regular Mars mode on other Teslas. But that'd be cool if it was like a little Cybertruck themed rover on there.
What about Santa mode? Is there Santa mode?
There should be Santa mode. Oh, actually, no. There's no Santa mode. Yeah, so no Santa mode. There's a bunch of different things missing on here, but
Like autopilot?
Autopilot is one of them that's not on here. We only have cruise control. So while it's kind of annoying right now, I mean, just think about how the Model S and Model X were at launch, like when the refresh came out. They were missing a lot of things, and it looks like they're going to be adding more and more things as time goes on. This is, I can't say the exact VIN, but it's in the 500s. So it's pretty low, and I mean, I think by the time they're like around VIN like 2,000 or 3,000, a lot of these like minor issues, like I had an issue where the screen wouldn't turn on, and we had to bring it to service, and it got fixed. It was an issue with the 48-volt system, which is also a brand new thing. So this is a brand new car. No, I mean, they're pushing so many like boundaries with what they can do with technology with the 48 volts. So there's going to be some little issues, but they have all kind of been figured out, and they will be continue to be figured out. More issues arise, they'll fix them, but this is a low VIN truck, so obviously it's going to have some issues. This video is sponsored by Drive Protected. Drive Protected is your #1 source for DIY paint protection film for your Tesla. Drive Protected's Defense Plus PPF is a user-friendly PPF that's 8 mils thick, is self-healing, and has a built-in hydrophobic layer that makes it a lot easier to clean the car. Drive Protected has a training academy on their website with follow-along videos that makes installing your PPF yourself a lot easier. Drive Protected also has a risk-free guarantee, which means if you mess up your PPF, they'll send you a replacement for free, you just pay for shipping. From how to prep your Tesla for PPF installation, to how to mix solutions, to walking you through each step of the process, Drive Protected has you covered. So we have a bunch of different settings in here. We have the main controls, and you can actually change the ride height directly from here. You can close the tonneau cover, so if you look back there, oh, well, can't see it anymore, but it covers up the rear view mirror, and it will close it. And actually, look, it shows it on the screen closing. And then the same for the frunk. If I want to open the frunk, where do I even press that? If I want to open the frunk, I can just press right here, and it's a power frunk, so it will pop right open, and it displays it. I can also pause it, it looks like, if I just want to say, oh, wait, stops, and go, stop. So it's pretty responsive to when I actually click pause, so that's cool. Next, we have dynamics. So we have all the different driving modes. So we have comfort, sport, custom, and off-road. 2 acceleration settings because this is the all-wheel drive. So we have chill and standard, ride and handling, which is relaxed and focused. So we have preferred ride height. So this kind of basically, if you want to be more efficient, you would choose lower. I did it again. Jeez. Such an annoying thing. If you want to have a lower ride height, that's good to be more efficient. And the higher ride height, say you're like going through a lot of like dips, or there's like some potholes, or maybe you're kind of like not super off-road, but you just kind of want to have a higher ride height, you can have it prefer that. Then we have towing and hauling settings. If you want to see the towing tests, Kyle Connor from Out of Spec is doing that, so you can check out his videos. Then we have our charging options. So they have the charge limit set to 95% on this, but it's pretty much the same as other Teslas. This is a little bit different though. We have outlets and mods. So we have multiple different outlets. We have the 2 in the bed, and then the 3, and then the 1 1450. So we can enable that by pressing right here. And of course, there's also one underneath the rear display. So we can turn that on. There's also a power feed that goes to here, but I'm not sure what it's powering yet. Same for the frunk. So eventually they'll be having accessories and mods you can just add on and buy directly from Tesla. So that'd be cool. Going to the autopilot screen, we only have traffic aware cruise control, which is unfortunate, but you know, like I said, this is a very early VIN, so they probably don't have enough vehicles in the fleet to even optimize autopilot for this thing, because I've been driving and like, you know, the warnings are just really early, because I have it set to medium, and it's pretty early. It's like almost early, like on a Model Y. We have the lock screen with regular lock settings. We have the lights, and we have a little bit different settings. So we have the accent lights. So we have right here, if you look all across here and on the door panels, different light strips. And this is just like the refreshed Model 3 that I showed you guys a few months ago. I mean, they're really just trying to synchronize a lot of the same parts, components, and it's starting to work. I mean, you can start to see that the Cybertruck has the same type of steering wheel buttons as the Model 3. So these are the exact same. So I said in the video when I was doing the Highland review, it's pretty similar to the Model S and Model X, except these are now more buttony. They're not like hard down on there. You don't just feel a vibration. This is actually, like, this is a full click. I don't think the Highland even had the full click. I think it was still kind of a vibration and a little bit of click. But this, it feels way more tactile. I like the direction they went with this. Some people were against the stockless design. I'm okay with it. But honestly, this makes it a lot more like user-friendly, I would say, to just be able to click them instead of having to actually like feel a little vibration, because some people can't feel that. Now next, we have footwell lights, of course, and all the same dome lights. We have this big dome light right here. I don't know if this even turns on. This is like more of a accent light itself. It kind of lights up, but these are just pressed just like the Model S and Model X and Model 3 Highland. And then we have some dome lights in the very back. I can turn those on back there. So we got one right there and one right there. And that's just kind of, it does get pretty bright in here. There is the option to have the Cybertruck logo pop up when you get inside the car. So it just says Cybertruck on the screen. I mean, it's kind of a gimmick, but it's cool if you want people to know that's a Cybertruck, which if it isn't obvious already from the outside. We have our trips tab. Ignore the efficiency. I don't know what the rated efficiency is, but I have not been driving this softly for sure. We have our navigation settings, our safety settings with Sentry mode, all of that stuff. And unfortunately, the glove box is locked, so I can't open it, but it is a drawer. Service mode, of course, and it tells you the recommended tire pressure. These are 50 PSI right here. And then you can also see the camera preview, so let that load up. We have a main camera, which is the front one, the wide camera, which is also on the front, a little bit wider. The left door pillar, which, wow, that is good quality. The left fender, which is front left. Right door pillar, right fender, rear view, and the fascia camera. That's the very front one. And there's one cool thing I actually wanted to show you with this camera. So imagine you're driving and it's like really dirty, maybe snowy, muddy. The front camera gets dirty. How do you clean it? You press right here and look at that. It cleans it right off. There is some little liquid on there right now, but if you're driving, it's just gonna fly off. And if you wanna see the rear camera, you can just swipe upward, downward, upward. On the steering wheel, if you press right here, this actually opens and closes the cameras. The only thing I don't love is like how wide the horn is and like how close it kind of is to the button. It's like, if I'm driving and I press this, it's like kind of weird. I'm like almost pressing on the horn a little bit. So it'd be nice if they could either make this smaller or move it over slightly. It just feels really cramped on the steering wheel. And then because this is the Foundation series, it has no available upgrades. It has full self-driving capability, even though this is not available yet. And it has lifetime premium connectivity, so you never have to pay the $10 a month or $100 a year. For anyone wondering, unfortunately, there's no Steam in the Cybertruck yet. I'm not even really sure if it has the required RAM. I would assume it does, but it does have all the regular games, just missing Steam. And the wireless controller does work with it, so that's a nice little feature. So this Foundation Cybertruck actually only has 90 miles, and when I got it, it had 65, so I've only put 35 miles on this thing. So as I was saying earlier, it has full self-driving included and premium connectivity. So it's like the old 2018 Model 3s that we're getting that. Now this just has, I mean, is it worth the $20,000? You tell me. I mean, it's obviously a little thing. Over 10 years, you're paying $100 a year. So it's like $1,000. And if you're gonna have the Cybertruck for 10 years, I mean, to save $1,000, is it worth it? Who knows? So getting in the back seat, of course, very easy. Same button to get inside, but it's pretty comfortable. So I just shut the door and it's very solid. And here we have the rear display. So this is just like the Highland Model 3, where it doesn't have the ability to actually have its own zone. So you have 3 different air options. You have the low, medium, and high, but then you also can move it around. And I would say this is probably better than the Highland because this has 3 things you can manipulate and the Highland only has 2. So that's what this kind of like 2 design on the back or on the side and then 1 right on the bottom part. And then we have the seat heaters. And like I was saying, only the seats on the sides are heated, and then we have the adjusting of the passenger seat that only works when the car is not in drive, or when the car is in park and no one's moving. So actually it works in drive as long as you're not moving. Our music we can control, and then all of these options, and you can control the volume from back here. There is not the headphones in the back yet, like the 3S and X just got for the holiday update, but I'm sure that's coming very soon. But we've got the seat pockets right here. These are pretty similar to the current Model Y. The Model S and Model X don't even have these. The Model 3 Highland has the ones that are more like elastic on the sides and plastic you pull back. But if you actually go down here below the rear display, there are the 2 USB-C ports. So there's one, and then there's a 12-volt outlet right there, finally, and the other USB-C port over there. Now we also have an armrest right here. So I pull this, I learned, you pull this, and then you can fold this down, 2 more cup holders, and it's nice and soft. And to put it back up, you stick it right up there, pull right here on the seat. It's hidden kind of, but you pull this, you can fold the seat upward. And look how cool that is. You can really fit a lot in here. And then you just pull it and just let go immediately, and it pops right down. If you pull the string for too long, it'll actually just like bounce up a little bit. So what I recommend is just pulling it and letting it pop down. And of course you have these floor mats from the Foundation series. So look right here, you can see the little Cybertruck logo, which is pretty cool. So now I'm gonna have James pop open the second one for the back, and you get quite a bit of space. I mean, if you want to put like a dresser back here or take a nap, I mean, you can probably fit like 2 people back here or something. Have a nice little night in the Cybertruck. You can do a lot. And same thing to get it down, you just pull it and release. So just pull it quickly, James. There we go. So I'd say it's pretty well designed, and why don't we go for a drive? All right, guys, so before we can get driving, we have to shift into drive. Now, the Cybertruck does not have stalks, the stockless design. It has this shifter up top for emergencies, but the main way you're gonna shift is put your foot on the brake, and then it will automatically know which way to shift. So I backed into this spot, but I can just push on the accelerator, which is actually mounted on the floor if you look closely right down here, which is pretty nice for such a big truck. And I can just drive towards this way, and see, I don't have a rear view because the tonneau cover is closed. So I have this little camera right here that's in the back that is pretty much my rear view. So I can just go down this way, and this steer-by-wire is pretty fun to play with. You can kind of barely go, and it will really turn you. A little shaky. But let's get out of this parking garage and onto the road. I'm gonna be honest, I think the drive in the Highland was more fun because I was in Europe. I had a better view than this. Let's go to the right. And then, like I said, if the turn is too complicated, or like you're just afraid that you're gonna hit something, you can actually see the front camera on the bumper. So I don't know what this person's doing, but loading in a car, so I gotta wait for them. But when you get below 10 miles an hour, these little lines pop up here. So you can kind of see, like, I would be against the curve if I kept going this way. And there are a lot of people that just look, because this is something that you don't see every day. That guy's staring hard. So right now we are at 63% or 201 miles of range. But this just feels really nice to like maneuver with. You wouldn't think that you're actually driving such a big vehicle. So let all these guys go. So when I have my right turn signal on, it pops up that instead of the rear view. So it basically just pops up whatever camera you need. So the moment I have the signal off, you'll see that the rear camera is what pops up. So I just turned into the far lane, but there's my rear view. Let's just give it a little juice. Pretty powerful for the all-wheel drive, honestly. And I can't imagine how that looks like when someone else is seeing the Cybertruck just bolt. And the mirrors are pretty good size. You can really see a lot. Honestly, the triangle part, like there's a little bit of cutoff on the left side, just the way the angle is. And this does not have autopilot or full self-driving yet. I mean, there's less than 1,000 delivered. So when you press right here, that would regularly enable autopilot or full self-driving. I gotta wait till I'm through the intersection. But when you press right here, it just turns on the cruise control. So it's still traffic aware cruise control, so it's still something. I think it's just because the vehicle is so big that it's kind of hard for them to actually get it right. But I mean, it sees pretty much everything. It also has, I probably should let that guy go. It has stoplight and traffic control. So if there's a red light, it'll stop there still. Also, because this has full self-driving, but not like the actual beta, you can kind of see all the cars. I'd say they're better animations, but yeah, up here it will tell me stopping for traffic control. So it's like they're getting to the point where they have all of the right software. I'm sure it's just taking a while. The materials feel really nice, really comfortable. I'd say actually probably when I'm driving, I wouldn't have as many issues like that. Everyone is so happy to see the Cybertruck. If you see another person like stare at it, because everyone's like giving thumbs up and like recording and taking pictures, because this is like, you don't see this every day. You see maybe like one every week if you live in Texas, if you're lucky. But James, how is it back there?
It's actually not bad in the back seat. There's a lot of room. I'm like 6'1", and I have a ton of headspace right here. The room back here is really good. I'm in the middle seat right now, but the back other seats are really good, and the headroom is really good. The middle's probably the lowest. The back, pretty higher, but it's good.
All right, so we're moving again, and I wanted to show you guys something. So the Model 3 Highland has this blind spot indicator. So with the blind spot indicator, it has a little red light, and if I put my turn signal on, it actually blinks to show that there's someone in the way. Everyone is just kind of looking at the Cybertruck. You don't really feel like you're actually driving the Cybertruck when you're in the Cybertruck. It feels like a really big Model Y or like a Model X that's like extended. But when you actually see it from the outside, it looks insane just to see it driving around. If I just want to switch lanes, it's very simple. I don't have to turn very much. If I can find a roundabout somewhere, I can try that out as well. But you really don't have to turn the thing as much. Like up here, I can stop real quick and I can show. This doesn't really turn that far. So like, you can see, this only turns like right here. That's full turn. But realistically, if I'm actually doing a full turn, it's like maybe this much. But it just knows, based on my speed, how much to actually turn. This is probably like the most cars I've ever seen with just the regular auto steer on. You know, full self-driving beta shows like all the road, but I've never seen this many cars like visualized by the Cybertruck. Even that bus that just was way up there.
I would say because it's tall.
Yeah, I mean, definitely it can see a lot more. All right, now we're on the highway, and honestly, it feels pretty smooth driving this. There's a little bit of noise, but it's only not that bad. And there's also no music playing, so like, I'm assuming that if I was driving this and I wasn't recording, I probably would have some music playing. So we're actually just gonna exit right now. Swing right over. And that was very easy to actually like get over. It didn't really take much movement really. I just kind of like slightly moved my arms over to get out. So like this, I'm barely moving the squircle. All right, we're making a left turn. We're going to a supercharger right now, but there is a roundabout on the way. So let's get over there. Where was the roundabout?
It's coming up.
All right, here we go. We're gonna go all the way around this. This is a very small roundabout, oh my. So this is when these lines right here really help, because I'm able to actually see that I will not hit the curb. And thanks to the rear wheel steering, you actually see right on the camera how much is sticking out. But it's really cool that you can actually see that. And then I can straighten myself out. And let's go through the roundabout. We got James out here. He's about to film what it looks like to see the Cybertruck around the roundabout. Because honestly, when I went through this, I did not think it would be possible to make it around, but here we go. I'm gonna have to pull the camera up too, just so I can see. Yep, it's not even gonna hit it. It definitely, it really feels like you might hit it, but like I can literally just go in circles around this all day. They're probably like, what is this dude doing? All right, one more roundabout for you guys. We're gonna go all the way around. This is a way better one. I can really see, like it's just, I can just sit here all day and just go in circles and circles and circles. All right guys, well the Cybertruck was really fun to drive and I'm really excited to finally get mine in probably the next year or so. But overall, I'm just really impressed with this. They've done a great job and I know it's taken a while, but trust me, it's worth the wait. Anyways guys, that's gonna be all for this video. Once again, huge thank you to my sponsor for this video, Drive Protected. course, go check them out in the description below for the best DIY paint protection films for your Tesla. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And let me know in the comments what your favorite Cybertruck feature is, because honestly, mine is the power Frunk. Well, that's gonna be all, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.